Chapter 1. Tidying is not an innate talent. It's the continuous effort of clearing up things the right way. Tidying is not something that comes with age or home experience. Older people don't necessarily tidy better than younger people because tidying is not relative to age. If you want to be very good at tidying, then this summary teaches you how to do that using the KonMari method, propounded by Marie Kondo. When you remove the useless things around you, you create enough space for other things that are valuable to your life. While you are thinking of which objects should stay or go, a part of your mind is also thinking about storage. You are trying to determine where you'll put all the stuff that you're keeping. Sorting clutter and putting them in storage doesn't create the change that's expected to come with tidying. Simply folding all your clothes doesn't mean you've tidied your room. It only means you've arranged your clutter inside the same place, but at different locations. The clutter remains and your room is still untidy, which is why you have to sort by categories and not by location. The worst part of it is that if you're not careful enough, clutter will cause rebounds, which is when you keep on tidying over and over again without achieving a fulfilling result. This has a high chance of discouraging you about tidying. Mastering the techniques behind tidying will make your life better in many ways. Continue reading to find out how you can learn new tidying skills. Chapter 2. Tidying up improves your physical, mental, and emotional strength. Why should you tidy up? This is a question that has a straightforward answer, or so it seems. A lot of people believe tidying is just for keeping a place in order, but it is more than that. Tidying is an art that should be studied and mastered because it's not as simple as people think it is. While there are many courses on a lot of things like yoga, cooking, sewing, and many others, you will rarely see instructions on how to tidy up and keep places in order. The idea behind this is that tidying up is expected to come naturally. Many believe that it cannot be taught or passed down from one generation to another, like cooking and sewing. If you think back to your childhood, you'll discover that you were barely taught how to tidy, and even if you were, it was not reinforced until you mastered it. Getting rid of clutter is not an easy task. Clutter can make you feel frustrated, tired, and unhappy at times. Rebounds happen when you don't feel any sense of accomplishment after tidying. This is usually because you haven't gone through the tidying process with the right approach. The idea is for you to tidy up in one go, in what the Japanese call ikke ni. When you are merely sorting instead of tidying, you would feel rebound and almost lose interest in tidying all together. When you tidy a little a day, there's a chance you'll end up tidying forever. Tidying is more than just getting rid of physical garbage. It helps clear the mind and soul of mental garbage, too. A clean environment allows you to clear your head and think positive thoughts. Since you have not been taught the art of tidying right from childhood, it becomes tough to change the habit of not being used to tidying. Don't tidy up clutter based on a particular location. For example, tidying just the books in your room or your library. Instead, tidy up by category by bringing all the books in the house together so that you can sort them at once. Bringing them together lets you realize how much you have and how much you can discard. Chapter 3. Discarding things shouldn't come before deciding what you should keep. It has been established that the best way to tidy is to tidy all at once. But how do you prepare your mind to get used to this approach? When you tidy completely, you experience a deep change in scenery that is so good you'll want it to last forever. This feeling is best achieved when you tidy in the right order. Discarding must always be your first step, no matter what. Failure to follow this order would render your effort almost useless and leave you very frustrated. The garbage can is for things that have no importance. If it did have some value, it no longer has any. J.R. Rai. Right before you discard, think deeply about your goal, i.e., what you want to achieve by tidying up your space. Discarding might look simple, but it's not. A lot of times, you'll find yourself undecided about discarding an item. Sometimes you're not sure whether you should keep it or not. When you focus on what to dispose of instead of what to keep, you'll find out that you would be left frustrated at your attempts to tidy up. Knowing what to keep or discard is not an easy task. Sometimes you're undecided about discarding objects. In this case, there's a simple and effective method that will help you decide what to discard and what not to. It's a selection criterion that asks the question, does it spark joy? The process is simple. Pick up the object you're undecided about, ask yourself if it sparks joy, and if the answer is in the affirmative, then you keep it. Items that spark joy are items that touch your heart differently. They are items that give you a deep sense of connection. These are the items you should keep. While there are tasks you should carry out while discarding, there are things you shouldn't do as well. Some of the things you shouldn't do are: don't discard by location instead of category. Don't start with mementos like pictures and diaries that bring back fond memories. Avoid letting your family see what you're about to discard. Did you know? Clutter occupies our visual fields and gives our brains limitless stimuli to process. As a result, it's more difficult to focus on tasks as there are more things to draw our attention. Chapter 4. Following a correct pattern simplifies the process of organizing things. When you follow guidelines and orders laid down for a particular process, you'll not only find the process easy, you'll also find it fun. When you start with the easy part before moving on to the hard part, you'll find out that tidying is fun. Like every other skill, you have to follow the correct pattern to tidy up appropriately. Gather all your clothes together in one spot without leaving any piece out. Start the process of discarding with off-season clothes because it's the easiest for you to discern when discarding. A lot of people get scared and concerned about the number of clothes they are discarding, feeling like they might not have any nice clothes left after the whole process. The thing about that sort of fear is that as long as you have enough good clothes to wear, you're good to go. Another pattern you should pay close attention to is folding. While some people believe that it is better to hang clothes than to fold them, it is the other way around. Folding makes your clothes look better and last longer. This is not to say you shouldn't hang your clothes. Some clothes should only be hung and not folded: suits, coats, jackets, etc. When you're done folding, it is time to arrange the clothes in your drawers. The two challenges people face when it comes to arranging is that the closet is too full and an apparent lack of knowledge. The best way to arrange your clothes is by category. Put the suits together, place the jackets together, and fold clothes with similar textures together. Once you're done with your clothes, it's time to move on to your books. Books are very hard to let go of because of the information contained in them. Using the same selection criteria you used for your clothes, discard books by keeping the ones that spark joy in you and toss the ones that don't. Photos create memories, but not all memories should be hung on to forever. Make sure you follow your intuition well, and you'll discover that in the process of tidying all the time, you'll end up knowing just the right amount of stuff you need. Chapter 5. You must understand the importance of space and storage to achieve effective tidying. Whenever Marie Kondo gets home from work every day, she places her belongings in designated places as she enters the house, appreciating each item for doing its job for the day. This approach lets her tidy her house without the stress of pulling everything down and sorting it. Designated places for your belongings make it easier for you to have a clean place. Put your bags where your other bags are. Dump your dirty clothes in the laundry basket. Hang your jacket with other jackets and place your scarf where it's supposed to be. Pursue ultimate simplicity in storage. Store things in simple storages where you'll be able to access them easily. Extravagant storage might make your space look cool, but most times they are not necessary to use. Also, don't scatter storage spaces. Put similar items in one place so that you'll know where to look for them if you need them. For people who live alone, this is easier to do than for people with a family. If you have a family, create designated storage spaces for each person so they know where to check if they want anything of theirs. Put things where they belong, and your space will remain very tidy. Some storage tips are important and worth paying attention to. Avoid storing things in a pile. Store them vertically. The best place to store bags is in another bag. Don't buy storages that would only be useful for the short term. Empty your bag every day. Use the closet more often than the floor. Don't store things in the bath and the kitchen sink. For those who believe in charms, make use of the top shelf of your bookcase as your personal shrine. Remove clothes from their packages and arrange them immediately. Eliminate excess visual information that doesn't inspire joy. Treat your possessions like they matter. Storage processes are essential in keeping your home tidy. Not only do these storage guidelines make you orderly, it prevents rebound and frustration from disrupting your tidying. Keep only those things that speak to your heart. Then take the plunge and discard all the rest. By doing this, you can reset your life and embark on a new lifestyle. Marie Kondo. Chapter 6. Tidying transforms your life in unimaginable ways. When you look back on your childhood, you'll find elements of what you loved doing then in your present life. The things you did back then have a way of influencing your life, same as tidying. Tidying is more than physical cleansing. It is mental and spiritual cleansing too, because tidying your house helps you discover the things you like. One of Marie Kondo's friends had just finished tidying when she looked at her bookshelf and discovered that the majority of the books there were related to social welfare. Other books she had bought had been discarded, while the books she had gotten in junior school had remained. Suddenly, it dawned on her that she wanted to be a social welfare worker where parents could work without worrying about their kids. Due to this realization, she quit her job and pursued her dream career. She was able to reflect on her life because she got rid of books that didn't give her joy while keeping the ones that sparked it. Being around things that spark joy impacts every aspect of your life positively because your life starts the moment you put everything in order. Tidying lets you realize that letting go is better than adding. Another of Marie Kondo's clients had been reluctant about discarding her seminar notes and documents, but when she finally let them go, she felt a huge weight lifted off her. She gained more clarity in her approach to life by freeing the clutter in her space. Tidying improves your decision-making skills greatly because when you're able to discern what sparks joy, your brain automatically adjusts to it, thereby expanding your decision-making skills. Your possessions are a big part of you. Treating them well means treating yourself well. Conclusion. You can start living a good life in different ways, and tidying is one of them. When you create space and achieve orderliness in your environment, it is easy to see where improvements are needed and how they should be done. Tidying is an art that should be thoroughly discussed across all levels of education because it has a huge chance of transforming your life for good. Attachment to things of the past or the fear of the future can hinder your decision-making skills if you're not careful. Clinging to things you're not sure of discarding is a pointless expenditure. Ask yourself if the reason you can't discard it is that you're attaching it to a past or picturing its use for the future. The decisions you make reflect your life choices. Your choices reflect your actions, and your actions determine your life. Only keep things you need, things that are necessary to your life. Getting rid of things that don't spark joy barely have negative effects. In fact, this only goes on to show that you've been surrounded by things you don't need all this while. Regardless of your personality type, discarding is the first pattern that you must follow to effectively tidy up. Effective tidying involves undertaking two essential actions: discarding and deciding where to store things. Of these two actions, discarding must come first. Try this. Create time for yourself. Pick the stuff you want to tidy by category, sort it using the KonMari method, and evaluate the result at the end of the whole process.